Oiler with the pick. They win the World Cup in 2006. Sidney Crosby, the golden goal.
Welcome back to the Gameplan podcast. I'm your host, Sean Porter. Along with me today are Remy and Connor. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode. And the next couple months are going to be heavy if you're a sports fan. We got a lot of topics to go through today. And first, jumping into the NBA, we are in our last week of regular season action on the National Basketball Association. The first thing I want to talk about, NBA awards are right around the corner. I want to hear some predictions. First up, the big one obviously is MVP. Jokic and Shea are obviously the two front runners. Remy, who do you have winning?
Oh, I got Jokic easily. Shea, if he wins that, it's due to an NBA front of, well, everyone just voting for, it's the fans voting instead of the players actually voting.
So voter fatigue.
Oh, 100%. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yeah, no, 100%.
We're 100% seeing voter fatigue right now. We've seen the same thing with LeBron through the 2000s and 2010s. Jokic is obviously, he should win it, but Shea is the front runner for it right now. Tatum at third, but we obviously think that Jokic should win it. And
even if you look at Jokic's numbers, man, he's literally having career highs this far into his season. He's already 29 years old. He's averaging 30 points per game, 10 assists, and 13 rebounds, all career high throughout the entire board, which is insane.
Exactly.
He's already won 3 MVPs.
He's already a top 5 center of all time at that point. And, just to add to that, this MVP, if he doesn't win it, I'm still going to give it to him. I don't care if they don't actually give him the award. He's still won it in my books.
I think Jokic is, at least among us, the consensus for MVP. Going into Defensive Player of the Year, Connor, who do you got?
I have Evan Mobley. I know Draymond is number one for some reason. Maybe because he was talking about how he should be. He's been talking about being DPOY the whole year, and then he's kind of trying to talk it into existence. But Evan Mobley definitely deserves it. Leads the league in deflects. Has a lot of blocks. I don't know how many steals he has, but I'm pretty sure he's up there for steals as well.
1 steal a game.
Okay, well.
Which is still for a big man. That's not bad. No, I'm not. I'm just telling you.
For center, that's amazing.
A steal and a 1.5 block per game.
Yeah, and Luguentz Dort is number 3. I think Lou Dort is also a good front runner. I think Lou Dort deserves it over Draymond. No reason why Draymond's number 1. JJJ is also a dark horse for this as well. If JJJ gets DPOY, his contract will be insane next year because I don't know what the whole deal is, but he'll get a extended max contract or a major max contract, which I think would just destroy the Grizzlies. So I know the Grizzlies are happy that he's not going to get it, but if he does get it, we could see a big switch in the Grizzlies team next year.
I mean, we did see him win it back in 2022-23 where he averaged 3 blocks a game, but all 3 of these players are really good defensively. Oh, yeah. Remy, who's your take is winning?
So going back on to Connors, I'm going to have to say Evan Mobley, 100%. He's been phenomenal this season. All-Star game appearance, once again. Phenomenal playing just all around. He's developed his game so much from his first season in the league. He's now spread out the floor. The Cavs are a top seed, potential championship, potential to go to the finals. How could you not credit? You have to credit Mobley for his defensive status on this team. And then second, I'd have to say it needs to be Lou Dort. He's been so phenomenal for OKC. He's their defense. He's their backcourt.
Deserves it over Draymond.
100%.
I'm going Evan Mobley every single day of the week. The big reason why the Cavs are 60-plus wins is because of Evan Mobley and his defensive presence in the paint. When you look at teams who really go into the paint, the Cavs are one of the best teams at defending it.
Oh, yeah.
So I think Mobley is the biggest reason there. So it's nice we all agree 2 times in a row.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. No debate there.
Can we make it a 3rd time in a row?
Most improved. Remy, who you got?
Stephon Castle, easily. When you have a player like...
A rookie.
A
rookie, most improved
player. Most improved player.
Yeah, not rookie of the year, most improved.
Oh, sorry. Josh
most
Giddey.
improved from college.
That's a pretty good award.
I mean, yeah, most improved from college, yeah.
He most improved. He did improve from college.
You got a point there.
No, so first off, number 1, Dyson Daniels having a phenomenal season with Atlanta. But my personal favorite is Josh Giddey. He's been going on a spree lately. This guy's been getting more rebounds than his center Vucevic.
I agree with that.
Which rebounds that, pal?
I agree with that. Yeah. Definitely people didn't see Josh Giddey having the type of season he's having right now. Especially with all the controversy he had last year.
Because they definitely thought that trade for Caruso for Giddey was a lost trade. But clearly Chicago won that trade right now because Caruso's not even been talked about on OKC right now.
Yeah, Caruso is 30 He's 30-something years old, and Giddey had a lot of potential at the age he's at right now. So people at the time didn't think he was going to improve himself this season. But honestly, with the departure of DeRozan and just the emphasis on Josh Giddey this season, I'm glad he's having the season he's having. But I would have to say Cade Cunningham is my favorite. It might be, the most favorite decision or opinion upon the media right now, but Cade Cunningham's had a better season than he's had last season, and then his team's also had a big impact with Cade Cunningham starting a lot of games this season with no injuries or anything. So I think Cade Cunningham deserves to be the most improved player. But Dyson Daniels is also another front runner as well with the amount of steals he's had this season. Like, it's an insane amount of steals he's had. I think it's pushing up John Stockton numbers of steals.
Who, Giddy?
No,
Dyson Daniels.
Dyson Daniels, he averages 3 steals a game.
3 steals a game.
Yeah.
That's John Stockton numbers right there.
Yeah.
So he's had a big improvement from coming over from the Pelicans last season. And I think Cade Cunningham. I just think Cade Cunningham deserves it, though.
I don't see the thing about that. Then don't call it most improved, because before this season, Cade was already, we knew, an all-star potential player. He averaged 23 points per game, so he's only averaging 3 more points. And when you talk about that big of a difference, it's not much for most improved. It's not a superstar most improved player award. When you look at most improved, you look at someone who maybe didn't get a lot of minutes last season and then makes a big jump in every single stat than the following season they play. Dyson Daniels is literally a definition of most improved. He had a jump up of 10 plus minutes. Last season he had 22. Now he plays 34 minutes per game on the Hawks. He had 6 points per game last season, has a bigger role, went to 14 points. He's probably the second option on that team, if we're being honest. He, like you said, 3 steals per game, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, almost a block. Dyson Daniels is the definition of most improved, and he has my vote. I think he should get it without a doubt. He literally defines that award.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. But
Giddy's having a good season.
Oh, yeah.
But again, he averaged 12 points last season. He's averaging 14 this season. It's a 2-point
But look at his
difference.
rebounds and look at his assists in the past more than 5 games.
He's averaging 8 rebounds, but he averaged 6.5 last season. That's only another rebound and a half per game. Assist, again, he's only averaging like 2 more assists. So when you look at it as a whole, Dyson is literally doing better in every single stat. And the margin between them is way higher than the other couple players.
But look at which team is now from dropping to nothing to what they have now.
Yeah, but this
say
isn't
that,
a team
yeah.
award. This is a most improved. If
No,
you're talking
I get that.
MVP, maybe. But again, this is a most improved, so I don't think team stats or team standing should really take a toll on this kind of award.
I get that, but the difference is that Josh Giddey got traded he's on a brand new team and he's had to work with new chemistry this entire season. And that's why I'm not discrediting anything Dyson Daniels has done because he's been phenomenal this season. But I'm leaning more towards Giddey because he's on a new team, has to work with the chemistry, and he's doing a career best for his team. And they're also winning, considering they lost their superstars in Zach LaVine and DeRozan.
I feel like team wins should be
Accounted
considered
for.
In the most improved?
I
Yeah,
do.
100%.
I don't see how that makes
How?
sense because
I do.
it's a player award. It's not what team has
But
the
again,
most
you could be a
wins.
good player on a bad team, and
Exactly.
then just be putting up not garbage numbers, but good numbers on a bad team. What does that
Exactly.
mean?
I mean, Dyson did make the Hawks better than they were last season. They went 10th last season. I think they barely made the play-in. They're
Nope.
fighting for that 7th seed.
But that's what I mean. Josh Giddey's helping this
The
team.
Bulls are going to make like the 10th seed. Maybe, if best, if they win every single game for the rest of the season.
My pick's still Cade Cunningham, and he has improved the team.
How do you, but that's like when John Morant won most improved. Like, it made no sense.
that made no sense.
That one made no sense because he's already a superstar.
And Cade is already an all-star potential. He's already one of the better point
But
guards.
he wasn't
in
an
the
all-star
league.
last year.
No, he wasn't.
Well, that's
he got
because-
snubbed of it.
Well, that's because there's already so many good point guards in the league. But he's also, again, like I said, he's one of the best point guards in the league, and he's been like a top 10 point guard in the league the last 2 years.
Cade right now is the top 3 point guard in the league. It goes, in my opinion, I think it goes Shea, Cade Cunningham, and Darius Garland. That's for
How do
me.
you not have Luka?
How do you not have Luka or
He hasn't-
Curry? Or
he hasn't-
Curry?
How do you not have Luka?
Because Luka hasn't played as many games as those other 3.
So
Luka-
You're
Luka's been out
you're
for a
also
lot
missing
of the
Curry,
season.
the greatest shooter of all time, on that list? That's
Curry,
insane.
I think Curry's 4th.
Luka's played over
Curry's
50
fourth.
games. Just
I
about
can't
50
take-
games. He's averaging almost 30 points per game on a new team.
I can't take Curry over Garland. No, I can
skill-wise-
take Garland over Curry.
Skill-wise, Luka is definitely
Okay, but
top
we're looking
3
at
point
numbers
guard.
because
But
that's
if
what
we're
matters.
considering the amount of games played, you got to factor in which point guards have played enough games to get their teams to where they're at right now.
Cade's only played about 15 more games. That's not that many.
Yeah, I
Luka's
mean,
played 50
Luka's not going to
games.
be considered for any of the All NBA teams because of how many games
Well,
he's
that's
missed.
because that's just injuries, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But when he's playing, he's
availability is the best ability on a roster right now.
Okay, but
The whole league's
Especially in this
going,
era.
going back to the point, most improved does not mean a superstar who goes from 23 points to 25 points.
No.
That doesn't. That's exactly what Cade's doing. Cade went from 23 to around 26. Like that's not that's 3 points per game. Who we already knew was going to be a very good point guard. So again, that doesn't make too much sense to me, but maybe he'll win it. I wouldn't be surprised. The most improved has also been very, very iffy on the voting the last couple of years. So who knows what's going to happen with that? Rookie of the year. Remy, we got.
Oh, so now I can say Stephon Castle.
Now you can
Most
say
improved
Stephon
and rookie
Castle.
of the year.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
can say
Most
Stephon.
improved from college to the NBA. You know what? We'll take that. But no, Stephon Castle, 100%. When you have a point guard caliber like De'Aaron Fox that wants to come and play with the Spurs, but also make an addition with Victor, Stephon Castle's the guy. He's been so good this season. Pull up his stats.
I want to read the top 3 for the official rookie of the year ladder right now is Castle. I'm gonna fuck this up. Ricochet. Ricochet, and then Sar. So that's the top 3 that the NBA have right now, and I'm sure Connor's gonna Castle would run away with it right now.
Yeah, this is obviously a pretty weak rookie class.
Yeah.
But I think Castle leads the way with Rookie of the Year. But I don't think we should ignore what the Raptors rookies are doing this season.
All right,
Raptors. No, let me give you a minute here.
A 10-point per game rookie season is not going to cut.
Listen, I'm gonna name 4 rookies that the Raptors drafted who have started many games for the Raptors. I know that it doesn't mean much this year because of how many injuries we had in our season.
It is their rookie year, so it does mean everything. We're
rookie
100%. Of the year.
All right. So Jonathan Mogbo, I think, is a junior variant of Scotty Barnes. He puts up near triple-double.
6 points per game.
Okay.
I don't want a variant of Scotty Barnes.
How is that going in rookie of the year conversation?
Give me the per 36 numbers right now.
Well, yeah, so why are we talking about per 36? If you need per 36 to validate your point, then you're already talking nonsense.
Jonathan Mogbo.
And his 36 is 10 points per game.
So the other
that's much better.
See, I'm a Raptors fan. I don't want Mogbo to be compared to Scotty Barnes because Scotty Barnes is
junior.
Scotty
Barnes junior.
You want me to pull up his 36? I got you. 11 points, 27% from 3.
Terrible.
So there's some stats for you.
He's a good 3-point shooter. I've seen.
Is that why he shoots?
As someone who's watched all the
36?
Raptors games this season,
I'm telling you the numbers. I'm telling you the numbers.
Pull up the corner numbers though.
All right.
You also didn't realize.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just telling you overall.
Jonathan. Okay, listen. I got 3 other rookies I got to mention still. Right. So let me get this out of the way. Jonathan Mogbo. The other night he scored 17, 11, and 7. If he gets
does Cole Anthony, but I don't talk about him.
He gets 11 rebounds.
Bro, that guy's not a rookie.
Anthony Black has dropped 20 points. Tristan Da Silva drops 20 points.
But Jonathan Mogbo is the 31 pick in the NBA draft this year. That's the difference.
And he still averages 10 points per game.
30 teams passed up on him. He put up 17, 11,
what does
and
that
7.
to do with Rookie of the Year, which is what I'm trying to talk about?
I'm just giving credit where credit's due.
Who do you think is winning Rookie of the Year?
Stephon Castle,
okay.
but
all right, now moving on to
No. Jamal Shed is another rookie the Raptors have drafted. He is another version of Kyle Lowry.
I don't want another version of Kyle Lowry on the Raptors.
Kyle Lowry, 6-foot point guard. Jamal Shed, 6-foot point guard.
Okay, 7 points per game, so we're on a bit of an upscale here.
Okay, but he's a playmaker. He's a scorer.
4 assists per game.
Finishes rough to the basket, and he's also a steal. He gets a lot of steals too, and he's a dog on defense. He's a bulldog. I'm a Shed head personally, and I think he can be a Kyle Lowry variant.
Yeah, again, that's
except
nothing to do
this
with
guy can actually touch the rim, unlike Kyle Lowry.
2 more rookies I gotta mention.
So Remy,
Jamison Battle.
No, you're done.
And Jacoby Walt.
All right, Remy, who do you got for 6th man of the year?
6th man? Ooh, that's tough. I want to give it to Malik Monk, even though he's now a starter. He did phenomenal for the Kings. That guy was carrying the Kings off their bench, and when no matter where he was on the court, he was playing such strong defense. He was hitting those clutch threes because the Kings aren't a very strong shooting team. But when he's on the court, he makes them seem like they're the best shooting team there is.
Connor?
You said Malik Monk?
Yeah.
I respect that, but I would have to say Peyton Pritchard for me personally. I think Peyton Pritchard starts on many other teams. I would say he started on the Raptors right now, but he shoots logo threes. I think him and Curry are one of the best long distance shooters in the league right now. It used to be Damon Curry, but I think Peyton Pritchard has proven
40% on 8 attempts.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think
great.
Peyton Pritchard is a really good shooter. He's a really good scorer. He passes the ball a lot. Just what I said. He would start on many teams, and if they ever got rid of Drew Holiday, they would have the perfect replacement for him right away.
I think Malik Monk is a solid option, but I'd probably go with Pritchard too.
That's fair.
He's averaging 14 points. He could arguably get into the most improved. If you wanted to go down the list, he'd probably be in the top 5. He's averaging 14 points. He's shooting maybe top 5 in the league at 3-point percentage at the rate that he's shooting, because he's shooting almost 9 attempts per game.
He's also the Celtics clutch player right now.
Yeah, very, very clutch. He's been on a tear, and a big reason why the Celtics are doing very, very well right now.
I think we should give credit to I'm gonna butcher this. Amen Thompson too.
Oh yeah, he's been so well lately.
He is an athletic freak, and I've seen podcasts around the league of just people saying, yeah, he's like the best athlete of all time. I'd say
he's 14 points per game. Got to work on his 3-point, but again, he doesn't take that many. But his athleticism is fucking ridiculous. He's like John Morant, dunk on people. His defense is so good because he's all over the court. He averages over a steal and over a block per game. So he's going to be a very, very good player in the future.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I saw a clip the other night of him being the last person on a fast break. And then he
got the chase down block.
A chase down block on someone. He was the last one on the furthest way.
I saw someone compare that to the LeBron chase down block on Iguodala, and I'm like, 100% I would compare that to that. He was insane on that play, but that's just like he does that play consistently. That's not like once in a blue moon play for him. He does that almost every night. I'd want to say.
Both the twins are definitely freaks of nature, but I think I think Amen's way better than.
100%.
His athleticism on not only the defense or offense, but to be to put that to use on both sides of the court. Other than like a Jaw, who's a freak athlete, but again, not very much defense. This guy can do it on both sides of the court. So watching him and playing against the Rockets when he's on the court is hard when you're cheering for your favorite team.
But I also think Asar, the reason why he's not better than his brother Amen is because he also put in a rough situation for a few years with Detroit, and they had a really rough go at it, and there was really wasn't much that he could do for that team. And with Amen being on the Rockets, when you have guys like Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green, who's able to, and Alperen Sengun, who are able to set you up for good things, and also just be a super supportive player on defense, it makes it a lot easier to play a lot better.
Going into the last one, we'll talk about Coach of the Year.
There's two more actually. Coach of the Year and Clutch Player of the Year.
All right. Well, Clutch Player. Who do you have? Because that means everything.
Jalen Brunson. He leads Jalen Brunson, but also Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I would say Jalen Brunson because he does lead the NBA in clutch scoring, and he is very pivotal in close games. When the Knicks are in close games, they look to Jalen Brunson to close those games out. But also, I think Shai should be considered since his points per game from the second to fourth quarter, he's third in that category. Like it goes Shai leads the NBA in scoring, and then someone else, and then Shai from the second to third or fourth quarter, he leads third in the whole league in points per game. So I think Jalen Brunson or Shai Gilgeous should be considered for Clutch Player of the Year.
Remy?
See, I'm going to agree with you on one of those two players. I'm going to agree with Jalen Brunson because he's been phenomenal this season, but I'm going to be a little bit biased here, and I'm going to say DeRozan because that guy's hit so many clutch shots, and he's just not getting the respect that he deserves right now. This guy goes into the fourth quarter with like maybe 7 points and ends up with 30. He's the guy that's going to get you those big-time buckets when they're needed, and I don't see any respect on his name, and he's just an underdog right now. I get it. He's old, and he's slightly out of his prime, but I wouldn't even say slightly out of his prime, but he's doing his thing right now. He's just not getting that credit.
I love DeRozan, but it's going to be his, I think, 4th or 5th season in the play-ins. They should rename the play-ins to the DeMar tournament.
All right. Yeah, you're going to see the DeMar tournament, and then he's going to be in the DeMar finals. So you can call the finals his name, too.
We'll see.
I'm going to go with Trey. And I hate Trey just because, like, the player he is and how he plays. But his clutch is... He's second in clutch points with 152, and if you watch him down the stretch in the fourth quarter, his ability to score is just ridiculous. Whether it's a floater or a step back 363-pointer. Watching Trey, the Magic played the Hawks the other day, and every single time they play, Trey Young in the clutch is very, very hard to guard, and he's really fun to watch.
Sorry, but what rank are they in the league right now? Because I don't know how clutch you can be when you're not low of a seed.
Well, when your team is ass, you can only do so much, but he's helped to win a lot of games, so I think Trey's a very good clutch player this season. Yeah. I'm gonna go with him. He's been
despite their record. I also put Trey Young down as a clutch player of the year as well.
Yeah. Coach of the year.
Coach of the year.
Oh yeah.
What do you got?
Oh, I mean, obviously, I feel like Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, I think we were all gonna say Kenny Atkinson.
Man, if Joe Mazzulla wins this, I'm the biggest Joe Mazzulla hater ever. Just he gets put on this great team, this amazing starting five, and then he just starts saying these cornball comments during the post conferences, and he's just so hateable to me.
He is.
I could agree with that.
I love Kenny Atkinson and what he's done with the Cavaliers personally.
I mean, coach comes in first season and then they have 64 wins.
100%.
So I mean, he is the favorites. I'm gonna say JB Bickerstaff is also very high up there.
Yeah.
Even though the Pistons are only playing for the fifth seed. The fact that they have been one of the worst franchises in all of sports the last couple of years, and they bring him in, who obviously has coached the Cavs and barely go with that, and he's been able to shape this team into how they're winning now. I think that's very impressive, and I think his name is going to be up there for sure. One coach I do want to point out who's probably not going to get the honor, JJ Redick. what he's been doing
Okay.
with the Lakers.
Okay, yeah, that's
I thought you were
fair.
saying Jamal Mosley.
Yeah.
Maybe next season. I mean, last season, I think he could have. But no, this year, JJ has turned that Lakers team really, really well. And yeah, they have LeBron James. They have Luka Doncic, Reeves, or whatever. But you need to have a good team. You need good coaching. And we know how good JJ is. We've seen him on First Take. We've seen him as a player. His ability to rally these teams. And also just like the kind of person he is. I don't know if you guys see his press conferences.
Oh, yeah.
Or just his personality. But he's so good with the
I
players.
really like JJ.
He has a connection with Luka and LeBron, and he's not. I don't think he's going to be up there in the finishing, but he's definitely one of the coaches that I think deserves a lot of recognition for how he's turned the Lakers into a pretty good team right
For
now.
the first time, I can't say that LeBron's coaching the Lakers because he's really not. JJ's taking over this team, and he stood his ground against LeBron, even though everyone wants to say that it's LeBron's team. Well, no, it's JJ's team. He's coaching LeBron this time.
Especially, you trade AD, who is obviously a cornerstone. You bring in Luka, who's obviously a better and one of the best players in the league, but still being able to gel everyone together. And the minutes and the rotations he runs is very impressive.
Especially being able to have Dalton Connect, that, or how do you pronounce his last name? Connect. Thank you. You bring that sort of player, like he's a phenomenal player. Don't get me wrong; he's a great young talent. But being able to bring him from not being as confident on certain shots to now being able to hit like 5, what was it? Like he started off with like 7 threes in a row, and it's like that's insane for a rookie. It's like what rookie has that sort of confidence, and it's so great that his coach supports him with all that.
Yeah. Awards are going to be really, really good. I think there's some good favorites in those. Speaking of the Lakers, though, before we get into the couple other topics we have, can the Lakers beat OKC in a playoff series?
No.
Tell me why.
I don't know. I just don't think. I think the OKC got way too much depth. I think they've got more depth than the Lakers right now. I'm not gonna lie. Also, too, with Shea, he's on a tear right now. I just don't think Luka's got strong enough defensively to guard Shea. Also, too, when Chet's healthy, he's back, right? Or he's gonna be back?
I will check on that and I will let you know.
But Isaiah Hartenstein, too, at that center spot, the Lakers are just really weak at that center spot right now, and Isaiah Hartenstein's just that guy that's going to be that mismatch for them. I get it. The Lakers have LeBron. So, that's why they got Lou Dort. Lou Dort's the one guy that's able to, I wouldn't say, because LeBron's not guardable, but he's their best chance at having great defense. And with Isaiah Hartenstein in the paint, I don't think LeBron's going to be getting too many easy buckets.
I think the Lakers are going to beat the OKC Thunder low key because
You think so?
just Luka and LeBron together. I get that Shea Gilgeous is runner up for MVP, number one for MVP right
Can I just
now.
interrupt you for a quick second?
Yes.
Homegrown is healthy.
Okay. Oh, easily. Okay. Yeah. No.
Continue.
Can I interrupt you guys? The Raptors just beat the Hornets right now. So
Yeah, I don't
all right,
think they were trying.
they're purposely trying to lose and we're winning.
The Magic
We'll
just
take
beat,
it though.
The Magic just beat the Celtics, and they didn't play any of their players, so not really a story. But go ahead. What were you
Anyways,
saying?
back to what we were saying. I think the Lakers could beat the OKC whatever.
Where's the depth?
Because they have OKC has depth. They have Shea, but Chet Holmgren, he's averaging 16 points per game this season. That's which people thought he would do more this season. I get Isaiah Hartenstein. I think he's a top 10 center this year. They got Jalen Williams, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso off the bench or on shooting guard, whatever you want to put him. I get they have depth, but the Lakers have experience. We've seen OKC choke in the playoffs time after time. And I get that LeBron might not have the best finals record or whatever, but he's made the finals, 11 years in a row or 10 years in a row. They have experience, especially with JJ Redick, who's an experienced player coach. I think the Lakers are going to give a good battle and push the upset and be the underdogs.
That's what I think. I think the Lakers would take a series. I think it would go 7 games. No question.
No,
it's gonna go
7 games. But the one point I want to make though is you have a superstar caliber point guard like Luka. But the issue with him is he's all scoring, no defense. And then you have a guy like Austin Reeves where his defense also lacks. You have a team where you have front runners that have great starting 5. But guess what? After that starting 5, when you're halfway through the game, those guys are going to be drained completely, except for LeBron because he's a superhuman. But I mean, otherwise, like you don't have the depth that OKC has defensively. They've got not the height, because height doesn't always matter because Lou Dort's not that tall and he's one of their best defensive players. But you got that depth on the bench that can also, like Caruso, phenomenal defensive player. He's one of the reasons why LeBron won in the bubble. Defensively, he's phenomenal. In the corner 3, he's able to stretch the floor. He's able to be that playmaker. He's able to go to the line and make those free throws. So that's the reason why I'm taking OKC. It's not just because of Shea. It's because of the depth, and their defense is so strong that I feel like it's just so hard for Lakers to get good shots up because I feel like they're going to be forcing a lot of things and wanting to go to the line. And I get it. You're probably going to say Shea's going to go to the free throw line half the game. When Shea beat them last night, he didn't go the free throw line, and that was like the first time in 109 games or something. It was a new record for him. He didn't go to the free throw line once, and they beat the Lakers 126 to 80 something.
Actually, Lakers beat Thunder 126.
I was gonna say, yeah, they
Lakers
lost
won
that game. Yeah.
Lakers won that game. I think the Lakers are going to take the series. 7 games, like I said. I'll give you, the Thunder have way better defense. They're first place in defensive rating, as well as their offense. I mean, they're third place in offensive rating. But again, LeBron James and Luka Doncic, those are the only names you have to say. And when you put those on a team coached by JJ Redick, and they still have pretty good depth, I think the Lakers have been unreal this season. I think they take that game. And, I mean, they have the size, and we know size is nice, as well as you bring up free throws. Things are not going to be called as it is in the regular season and the playoffs. Shea is not going to get to the free throw line like he does right now. The playoffs are going to be grittier. He's still going to get to the line, don't get me wrong, but the playoffs are going to be grittier. They're going to be more physical, so getting to the line is going to be way harder. And even without those free throws, he's still going to drop 20 points or whatever. But again, the Lakers have so much, and without those free throws, it's going to be hard for Shea to find a balance in consistent scoring.
We'll just have to wait and see then.
We'll have to wait and see how that goes.
Yeah, and you can say Luka's in his prime right now, or he's coming up in his prime. But even if he's not in his prime, the numbers he's putting up right now are insane.
He's just not prime in his defense, though.
Okay, yeah, he's not that well in defense, but he makes up on offense. LeBron, you can question if he's still in his prime right now. He's putting up insane numbers still, although he doesn't play all the games. He's still, at 40 years old, he's still putting up insane numbers. If they thought otherwise, they would have traded LeBron over AD. They're still trying to build around LeBron, although I think they're going to try building more around Luka now. But LeBron is still in his prime to me. They got Luka, who's still in his prime. They got Bronny James Jr., who's
All right. That guy's dropping
putting up 25.
All right.
That guy puts 35 points up in the G League. Those guys are going to eventually make it.
Speaking of G League, I just want to give a shout out. The Osami Magic are headed to the G League finals.
What? Magic?
Their G League
Osami
team.
Magic?
I think that's what they're called. Yeah.
No, I thought you were going to shout out Mac McClung because he's their fun.
He is.
He's
Orlando's
the MVP
G
there.
League team is headed to the G League
Mac
finals,
McClung
led
is
by
really
Mac
nice.
McClung. He's doing very, very good. Probably the best G League player in the league. He is. Shut up. If you're looking at the teams who are entering the playoffs, who is the scariest team in the postseason that if you're a coach and you're a player, you're like, shit, we have to play them?
Cavs.
Tell me why.
You got the team that used to be really crap after the whole team got blown up with LeBron and Kyrie. You then get Donovan, you then get a Jared Allen, you then get a Mobley, you get the Max Struss, you also get the Darius Garland, who's a top 5 point guard in the league right now. You have this team and they've been unstoppable. They went on a 13 game win streak.
Snapped by the Orlando Magic, but yes, they were on like a 13 game streak before that.
And that's why I'm scared, because no team could beat them. Except for the Magic, but no, I'm scared. I'd be so scared if I had to play the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell, he went into the 3-point contest a few years ago. People said he wasn't a 3-point shooter. You're right, he's not a 3-point shooter. He's a scorer. He'll score at will. He'll do whatever it takes to score. And guess what? He has a point guard right there that's going to set him up for every single play possible. And you also have 2 centers that will be guarding that paint like there's no tomorrow.
Connor?
Yeah, I would agree with Remy. I think the Cavs have a lot of depth on their team. They got what is it? They got Donovan Mitchell.
Garland. They just traded for DeAndre Hunter this season.
Oh yeah, DeAndre Hunter's such a good 3-and-D player.
Who's that guy that was talking crap to Paolo again?
Oh, that was Max Struss.
No, it wasn't Struss. It was some other dude who got dropped off that team, so I don't even remember his name. He's a nobody.
Yeah, he's gonna start on your team though.
Nice, yeah. All right, buddy. We'll see how that goes.
Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. Jared Allen, he could be a top 5 center of this league, low key, based on how much they've been winning this season. But I'm gonna reword this a little bit from scariest to underdog or dark horse. Although they just fired their coach, I think the Nuggets have a chance of winning it this year. Teams aren't going to know how to guard their team with a new, game plan now.
New scheme
And everything. Jokic is insane in the postseason, insane in the regular season. They got Aaron Gordon still. Jamal Murray, I think he's healthy right now. So and MPJ. How did I forget MPJ too? I think they're a dark horse to win it all this year.
Also Christian Braun.
I was going to say
Braun
that. I don't even think they're a dark horse, man. If I'm looking at scariest team, I'm talking about the Nuggets.
That's fair.
Like, when you have Nikola Jokic on your team, instantly that brings you to the top of the game.
Literally.
Jokic
100%.
is going to go so off in the playoffs, the things he can do. Like you said, they have so much depth. They have Aaron Gordon.
Imagine if he actually tried.
Yeah, they have MPJ, who's arguably the best 3-point shooter in the league right now.
All right.
I mean, if you look at the numbers, he's shooting above 40% on the amount of 3-point attempts he takes per game. And I'll pull up the stats. He shoots 40% on 7 attempts, which is pretty fucking good. So I think the Nuggets not only are dark horse, but one of the scariest team, if not the scariest team to go against in the postseason.
Yeah, and then we just talked about it, but I think the Lakers could go all the way.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
part of the script. It's part of the script.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, you can't count out LeBron James ever, especially when
Never.
Luka Doncic is on that team now.
Oh, yeah.
Once he has a good team around him, you can't count him out.
Yeah, we'll see.
When you have a superstar of his caliber on a team, 100% you can't count him out.
Yeah, especially AD being injured recently. And
oh.
I know he came back.
I mean, I'm not even surprised why the Lakers traded him. You can't build around a guy that's consistently injured, and he comes back 3 months later and plays one game and gets injured in the first game back. You can't build around a guy like that.
I find it funny that he was having a good game that game, but he only played 3/4 of the game, and
Exactly.
they're already getting the Lakers Davis experience.
At that point, you're just playing a blacktop basketball. You're not even playing a full NBA game. What's going on with that? You're getting paid millions of dollars to play, and yet you don't want to stay healthy. You don't want to condition. Like, I get it. It's not up to you, but maybe be more careful on the court.
Giving a couple, there's where the bracket stands right now, a couple of headlining teams who they'll play. The Lakers would play the Golden State Warriors, who I think the Lakers would take
easily.
maybe in like 5 or 6 games.
Yes.
The Thunder, who would play the 8th seed, who the Thunder would obviously we know would beat. Cavs again play the 8th seed, we know they could beat. But and the Nuggets as well would play the Clippers, who I think the Nuggets could obviously take.
Yeah.
Just some of the headliner playoff bracket stuff. But going into our last topic for basketball, I said before, this is the last week of the regular season. Let's do some reflection on some of the teams, our favorite teams. We'll start with the Raptors over here.
Well, I just want to ask something. Do you think if OKC plays the Magic, OKC is winning?
Yes.
Okay.
We have.
Okay.
Okay,
We have-
I'm glad that the Magic fan
I mean, come on.
somewhat came to a
OKC
sense on that
OKC is going to beat 99% of the league. Like,
Okay.
it doesn't
That's
really
fair.
matter.
Yeah.
What is your input on that?
No,
Yeah.
even if we had Suggs playing, I mean, it's OKC, so it's not really much you can do no matter who your team is. But
Back to our season.
Yeah, getting on to the reflection of the season for the Raptors, obviously very disappointing. Just tell me what to look forward to in the offseason.
Okay, so I've got a lot to say about the Raptors.
All right, well,
that I've
I'm going
watched.
to keep you to
But
like,
you can cut me off.
I'm going to cut you off in about 5 minutes.
So obviously we know that Scotty Barnes isn't shooting the best from 3-pointer this season, but I think he's doing that on purpose. He's just chucking up a lot of shots this season to see what's going to be agreeable and where he's going to get the green light to shoot them next year. Because last year he was shooting pretty good from 3-pointer, and the year before he was shooting pretty good from 3-pointer. It was just this season he's not doing so well because we know this is going to be a throwaway season, and he's just trying to practice his 3-pointer.
Can I read you his 3-point stats?
Oh my god.
Well, no, just a fact check. Okay.
20 what?
So this season obviously was shit. Last season was 34. So you're right. That was decent. That's about league average. The year before that was 28.
So that's way below league
Okay,
average.
well maybe
So
I got my numbers wrong.
His last season was his career best in 3-point
Yeah.
percentage, and then it's
But anyways,
But keep going on. Yeah.
There's been some commentators who have been commenting on his 3-point percentage this year, and I was like, oh, he should drive to the paint more. Oh, he shouldn't be shooting as much. Scotty Barnes heard those comments, and the next game he drove to the paint most of the time because he knows it's a disadvantage when he drives to the paint. He's a
Most of the
finisher.
time.
Yeah.
And then that next game, after hearing those comments, he put up a 27 triple-double. And it just proves that he can flip the switch just like that. But he's just practicing his 3-pointers this season. Next person I'm going to talk about is RJ Barrett. He's entering his prime right now. He's still a young player. Got drafted in 2019. I believe he's 25, 26?
24.
20, even better, 24. And
He's turning 25 in like a month.
yeah, turning 25.
He's going to his prime for sure.
But
He is in his prime, yeah.
He's proven that on an injured roster that he can put up a lot of points. He's been getting near triple doubles most games. He's been passing the ball more since he's been traded from the Knicks. He's had I don't know if it was for the whole season, but for a good start of the season, he was averaging 27 points per game at home, which I would like to see him do on the road. But he's proven that he can be a scorer, he can pass the ball, and he obviously gets rebounds as well. And then on to Quickly now. He hasn't had the most. It's been a kind of disappointing season for Quickly. He can handle the ball, and he does have some range when he shoots the ball, but he hasn't been putting up the numbers that his contract says he should be putting up. I think his contract was near Scotty Barnes' contract, which I was a bit hesitant on. I think Jamal Shed is a better point guard right now than Quickly, but
I'd agree with that 100%.
Quickly can definitely handle the ball. He has good chemistry with the rest of the team. And I just got to point out, I love the chemistry with the Raptors right now. I don't know if you know about Jamal Shed and Brandon Ingram and RJ Barrett. They had a bet going on with Houston versus Duke to see who would win. And since Houston won against Duke, we've seen today that Brandon Ingram was wearing a Houston jersey. And then RJ Barrett now has to carry Jamal Shed's bag for the rest of the season, which is, I guess, only today because it's our last game today. But I don't think I've ever seen a rookie make someone else carry their bags, especially with rookie hazing. So that was really nice to see that they have good chemistry and they went along with that bet.
All right. Prediction, what seed are they next season? Assuming they have a full roster.
You really want to know my opinion on this?
I already know it's going to be bullshit, so just say it.
We'll definitely play in at least.
Oh, yeah.
But with the addition of a healthy Brandon Ingram, since we didn't play him at all since the trade, so he'll definitely be healthy by October. We'll have Jakob Poeltl, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and then off the bench we'll have a rookie lineup that had a lot of experience this year. With Grady Dick leading the bench, we'll have Jamal Shed, Jonathan Mogbo.
Okay, so what's
Jameson Battle.
I'm trying to cut you off.
This is an insane
I'm
lineup
trying to cut
right
you
now.
off. What seed are they finishing? Give me a number.
6.
Okay, 6 seed.
I could agree with that, but I need to say maybe 7th.
I'd say 7th, around the 8th, because the East is stacked.
Yeah,
That's a plan.
And it's
So,
not getting
6.
any worse. But yeah.
No, but I'm so excited for the Raptors' future. And I'm so excited, too, because I saw one of the last plays that Jakob Poeltl did. They've actually made him do a 3-point play, and he made it. It's like, I'm finally happy to see that guy's stretching out the floor. That's the only thing I asked for him. He's a great defensive player. He's great in the paint. Good passer. I just need to see him shoot the 3. He shot the 3. I'm happy for what we can see next season if he can build on that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't trust those 3-pointers so much, but
No,
I'm glad
but-
that he took that 3-pointer
but,
just to prove that he can shoot
Exactly.
them.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying that they're going to guard him from 3, but at least we know he can do it.
Yeah, we'll see the Raptors. Obviously, we want them to win hometown.
No, we're not moving on.
No,
Hold
we're
on.
moving on. Going on to the Magic season.
No, we have a draft. We have a top 7 draft pick this year as well, which I think
good
people
for
are
you.
forgetting.
We're cutting you off.
All right, whatever.
All right, going on to the Magic season. They're competing for the 7th seed. They'll probably get the 7th seed. They're heading to the play-in. We'll see how that goes. They'll most likely end up playing the Celtics in the first round. Who we know? It'll probably go to 5 games, maybe. I could see a sweep on the other end just because the Celtics have so much depth. But even if it goes, 4-1, 4-2, I'd be happy. Since I think if we had a healthy team, we put up a fight. But again, if we have a full healthy team like we did last season, I think we'd be 5th seed, maybe 6th seed, at least in that guaranteed playoff spot. When you look at I count, because everyone got healthy since the All-Star break. So I look at the All-Star break as like a good indication of how maybe we would have done. Look at the numbers. Paolo is 3rd in points per game from the All-Star with 29 points per game, shooting 48% from the field. His 3-point percentage is also up there. I think from the All-Star game, he's been doing really well. Obviously, Franz Wagner, when Paolo was injured, for Wagner was top 10 in MVP voting at that couple of months during Paolo's absence. So, as well as since then, their record was 13-10, I believe, since the All-Star. Caldwell Pope is shooting over 40% since the All-Star, which he wasn't shooting very good at all during the season. So I'm very excited for next season because everyone's going to come together. Jalen Suggs, who's a very good 3-point shooter, is going to come together, especially with his defense. So I'm excited for next season if everyone's healthy. But my prediction for the Celtics, we're out in 4 games, 5 if it's my lucky year. And then next season, I'm predicting a 5th seed.
Now I have a question for the Magic fan. Now seeing that the G League team has Mac McClung as their basically MVP.
Oh, I want him to get minutes.
I want to see.
I want him to get minutes.
I want to know if you would like to see Mac McClung on the roster on the Orlando Magic official roster next year.
I would love to get Mac McClung minutes. Again, if you have a full roster, I think he could easily fit in at least 15 minutes per game. You bring Cole off the bench. Isaac, you give, around that 6 to 7 minute mark. He's really good defensively. We know that. I mentioned Cole. I think Anthony Black, who would probably be our starting point guard. He's making a name for himself. He's doing pretty well. Only his 2nd year in the season. Mac McClung would easily be that 7th, maybe 8th guy off the bench. There's players you could put him over. I'd put him over Jet Howard. I'd put him over to Silva just because Silva, it's his rookie year. Even next season, might not get the playing time. I'd love to see Mac McClung. What he's doing in the G League, he's playing very, very well at a high level. If you bring him into the rotation, give him some consistent minutes, he could easily average upwards of 10 points per game, which I'd love to see. So,
I was surprised you said that the Celtics would beat you in 4 to 5 because I had it going to like a 6 game, possibly 7. Because last year, even though you guys did better last year, you guys put up a good fight against the Cavaliers.
7 games against the Cavs, but again, we had a full healthy roster.
But the Cavaliers, I mean, what? Who's injured this year?
We're missing Suggs, who is our best, not only our best 3-point shooter, arguably our best defender. You can put him on any guard, and he'll do a very good job. Yeah. His ability, his energy, because something about NBA that people might not look at is energy. Mm-hmm. If your team doesn't have energy and that enthusiasm to yo, let's go get this ball, let's get this steal, let's run in transition, let's get this ball, let's get a point in the basket. He really brings that energy, which every team needs to have. So he brings a lot of value on the court. So if we had Suggs, I'd maybe say 6 or 7 games. Without Suggs, I don't think there's that much of a fight. I could see maybe 6 games. I think if Paolo plays very well, if Paolo averages around 29 per game, if Wagner averages 25, I could see them putting up a fight. We'll see how the Celtics do, but 4 to 5 if we're lucky.
Yeah, you've been sending me a lot of Instagram DMs about Paolo since All-Star break and how his stats. So
if he was healthy,
he has been proving
himself. A top 10 player in the league.
I could agree with that.
He'd be in MVP voting.
I could agree with that too.
Because he's averaging 26 points on the season right now without the injuries. So
but Franz Wagner was carrying the Magic.
Well, that's because he was. That's because Paolo
was injured. Yeah, but he came back for a little bit after the injury, and Franz was still doing his thing.
When Paolo first came back on the court, he didn't play like himself. That's because when you tear your oblique, you have to get your conditioning back. Yeah. You have to get your feet under you. And since the All-Star, he's started, pulling up the jump shots, driving to the paint. His 3-ball was upwards of 40% at one point. So he's starting to figure it all out. Everything's going to come together. So
yeah, but
it's exciting.
Although Jalen Suggs is out and he did do really well against the Cavaliers last year in the playoffs, I still think you guys have enough experience with the highly depth roster of the Cavaliers. Now with the Celtics, with the kind of same highly depth.
When you look at the Celtics, also they have height, and they have height. But so do we. So that's the thing I like.
But you guys don't have a 7'2" center that can shoot threes from half.
No, but Wendell does a decent job at guarding paint above tall players. Isaac, he does a decent job. You put Isaac on Mobley, he did really well. Isaac on Giannis, honestly, when Giannis tries to post up, he does pretty well. So if you put Isaac on even a taller offensive player, he's still a decent defender.
I'm happy to see Isaac back in the league because he was injured.
Isaac's played almost 70 games this season for the first time since 4 or 5 years. So.
Yeah, I mean, Kristaps Porzingis too, though. He's injury prone right now, and I don't think they're going to play him more than 26 minutes a game in the playoffs.
No, I don't think so either.
You're going to be guarding Xavier Tillman Sr. for a majority, not majority, but for a lot of time. So it's not going to be that big of a high difference.
Or Al Horford.
I'll say this: it'll be a good series if we can somehow contain either Brown or Tatum. I think you have a chance to push it to 6-7 games.
I'd be more concerned about Brown. I know that's probably a hot take, but I think Brown's the better player between the two.
I'd put my best defender on Jaylen Brown.
Because Tatum's not the guy where it's if he has a hard start, great. But I personally think that Jaylen Brown's the guy that he'll do a lot more on the floor than Tatum will.
Yeah, no, it'll be a fun series for sure. I really hope if we could get 6-7 games, it'd be fun. If we somehow advanced, oh my God, you never hear the end of it. But we'll definitely cover that on the podcast soon. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with some more NFL and some other stuff going on. And welcome back. We are here. We're going to talk some football, some Masters, and a few other things before we head off for today's episode. First, getting into the NFL news. Obviously, we're in the offseason. The draft's coming up. We're close. We're in the Toronto area. We're close to Buffalo. We got a Bills fan here in the building.
Oh, yeah.
So talk a bit about the Bills. We'll see. Can they run it back and actually maybe even make the Super Bowl this season?
I'm really hoping so. Honestly, the main thing I didn't see from the Bills that I wanted to see was their defense. Their defense lacked so much when it really mattered. Their offense was there. We didn't use our new signing of Amari Cooper. We let him go. But with this MVP Allen Bills, I'm so excited for what the future holds. I just want to see some defense. Von Miller did not show up for us. Our safeties showed up for us. And DeMar Hamlin did phenomenal when he had the chance to. But honestly, the Bills just need better defense. That's all I need to see. And then they'll actually win. They'll go further than the Super Bowl. Also, with the refs, KC definitely had the win over us only because the refs called it. That's all it was. I personally think that the Bills should have won that game. I know if you're a KC fan, you're going to say otherwise, but I know the Bills fans are definitely saying that it was a rigged game because I know it was.
I do want to bring up their point of defense. The Bills allowed the 8th most points out of total. So they let A lot of teams score a lot of points.
And you can look at a few seasons ago, that wasn't happening. We were like number 2 in the league for defense.
And they did just lose Von Miller, Hall of Famer defender. I want to bring up a rumor, sort of. Jordan Addison, who we know is a top receiver, wide receiver number 2 for the Minnesota Vikings, recently got charged for a DUI. Minnesota rumored to be looking at a trade. I saw that the Bills were up there for the odds. Adding Jordan Addison to that Bills team would be insane. If you look at their receiver core, they don't have that much depth. You know, they have Coleman. They lost Amari, who maybe arguably they weren't using that much. But again, when you look at that wide receiver depth, bringing in an Addison who could be potentially a number 1 wide receiver. He had 900 yards, I think, last season. So bringing him in would be really good for the Bills.
I'd be so happy if we brought him on. Minus the DUI part, because that's not something we need to talk about. I mean, it's obviously not something you should do. But anyways, going back to the football part of things, the Bills utilize him so much. That's what we need. We just need wide receivers, because it can't just be Cook or Coleman or Allen doing everything. Josh Allen runs the ball so much. I'm considering that as almost that's his game. But what about injuries? That guy was getting injured in the playoffs last year from running, and it's just like we can't have our best player, our most important player, getting injured like that.
Yeah, James Cook also has to have a really good season.
Oh yeah,
running the ball is very important. I want to bring up last thing for the football Commanders offseason. Huge Commanders fan, obviously, and what they're doing it excites me. It makes me hard talking about them. Jaden Daniels is a future MVP in the National Football League.
I could even see it next year.
Yeah, next year I wouldn't be surprised if you see him top 5 in MVP voting. He is only going to get better. It was his rookie year, historic rookie year, led one of the worst teams in the league to the championship, the NFC championship against the Eagles, or the conference championship against the Eagles, so they obviously lost to. But not only is Daniels going to get better, Taylor McLaurin is one of the most consistent wide receivers in the entire league. He's been very good, 1,000+ yards. He was second this season in receiving touchdowns. He's only going to get better. You add Deebo Samuel, who we know from the 49ers. We've seen the issues with his weight, so-called, but I've seen him working out in the gym, working on the field, trying to extinguish those comments about his weight. Deebo Samuel is going to be a bona fide wide receiver number 2. If we can get him in the 700 to 800 yard area, him and Terry with Jaden is going to be very, very scary. Adding the left tackle from Texas, the Houston's, I'm going to get his name, but adding him to the offensive line as well is going to be very exciting. I think even if you have Sam Cosmi out, I think that team as overall is going to get even better. And they're one of the most exciting teams to watch in the football league. They were top 5 in total total points scored against teams. Watching that team is very exciting. So tell me, what do you see as an outsider? You're a Bills fan, but watching someone like Jaden Daniels as a rookie come into the league and just take over?
I was so excited to see that last season. I honestly wish that the Super Bowl was the Commanders versus Bills. I know that that's what the fans wanted to. But just seeing that happen as a rookie, I'm like, it's so much possibility, and I was just so excited to see it. That's why I'm really rooting for him this season. I cannot wait to see what he does. I'm just hoping that, his team sort of set him back in the sense that his defense on this team was terrible. They couldn't block him properly.
That's the thing about the Commanders. Their defense is one of the worst in the league, even though you have Frankie Louvu, you have Bobby Wagner, who's a future Hall of Famer, you have Marshawn Lattimore on the corner, but their defense as a whole needs to get better.
That's what I mean. Like, that's what
we need to bring in another cornerback, and I think that's going to be one of the biggest things they could do. The name I was forgetting, Laramie Tunsil from the Texans, one of the best top 3 left tackle in the league. Bring him on to protect Daniel. If you can protect Jaden, I know he's obviously arguably the second best running quarterback other than Lamar. If you can keep him in the pocket and not having him scramble as much because the offensive line collapse, he's going to be even better. If he's in the pocket, throwing passes, throwing the long ball, whatever it is, your team is going to only improve because he doesn't have to rely as much on his legs, even though he's more than capable of doing it.
I think you're forgetting a running QB, Josh Allen.
I'd put Daniels as a better running QB, but obviously Allen is obviously better overall because he's way better of a dual
threat. Who got the MVP? I'm just curious.
Well, Daniels had more rushing yards. So, but yeah, I'm very excited for the Commanders. What they're going to do this season is going to be very fun. I want to talk briefly about hockey. Alexander Ovechkin, greatest goal scorer of all time, breaks Wayne Gretzky's record. That was really cool. I watched that live. That was a really nice goal too. Not at home, unfortunately for him, but seeing that with our own eyes. It's like watching one of the greatest players to ever do it and one of the greatest sports of anything that we watch in the entire sports, whatever. The ability to score goals has been really fun to watch. Even though I'm a Sid fan, I'm a Penguins fan, watching that rivalry was a big thing for my childhood, for hockey. Ovechkin, greatest goal scorer of all time. Any thoughts on that?
I'll say it did feel like a home game, to be honest.
It did, bro. When he scored that goal, all the fans jumped up in their seats and went crazy.
I was so excited to see that happen. It's just like, you know what? He deserves it so much.
Watching greatness is amazing. I wanted to bring up something that I did see on First Take, so credit to that. What is more impressive? Who has the more impressive scoring leader or what's the word I'm looking for?
Scoring title?
Title, whatever
Accolade.
word you want to use. Whatever word you want to use. Accomplishment. That's
I
what I'm fucking looking for.
what you're putting down.
Yeah, what is the greater accomplishment? Is it Ovi's record-breaking goals scored, or is it LeBron's points?
Ovi, easily.
Tell me why, because I agree with you.
Oh, see I feel like hockey's a lot more rough. It's like it's a lot more physical, and I'm gonna take, and it's also a lot harder in a lot of aspects. And it's just like scoring goals isn't easy.
Scoring a goal in hockey is way harder than scoring a basket in basketball.
Exactly.
As
someone who scores 0 goals in your career.
Yeah, right. I was a goalie. I played AA rep, but scoring a goal is way harder. As well as Alex Ovechkin. If you want to bring up longevity, they've both played 20 years in the league.
Yeah.
Ovechkin's just going into his 20th season, and he puts his body through way more physical peak because he's been top 5 in the league in hits his entire career.
Can I also just say, too, LeBron's league right now that he's playing in, zero defense. And
the physicality's on another level.
Oh, the physicality in the NBA, everyone just flops half the time. There's no physicality whatsoever. Like I'm not going to discredit LeBron whatsoever because it's a different era from Michael Jordan's, and we can get into that another time. But LeBron's scoring title, it's just like it wasn't easy at all. But it's just like there was no defense on him. Like please give him defense, give him something, and then I'd say, you know what, it's a little bit different. But there was zero defense on him.
Not taking anything away from LeBron.
No, not at all.
I think Ovechkin's more impressive. Connor, I know you don't follow hockey too closely, but you know
Whoa.
you can tell the difference.
3 favorite teams.
Well, you can tell the difference between the scoring record on both sides of the floor. So tell me what you think.
Yeah, I have an opinion on this too. I think Ovechkin's is more impressive just due to when we were talking about the GOATs of the game and their scoring titles, I guess, Ovechkin versus Gretzky and then LeBron versus MJ. Ovechkin is within tens of games to beat Gretzky's scoring title versus LeBron. He's played way more games than Jordan to beat that. Whatever. I don't know if he had more games to beat the scoring title, but LeBron obviously played more games to beat Jordan, and the GOAT conversation still debatable to some people. Yeah. But Ovechkin, within tens of games of Gretzky's scoring title. So I think that's really impressive. And if you look at Ovechkin's diet, I think he drinks like
will drink a beer after before a game. He'll drink beer. He'll go
Cheetos.
He'll go to Five Guys and have a burger. He does not care.
Like he puts his body through a lot,
and he still lays out a ton of hits.
Yeah, and I think I don't know. I don't follow exactly what you just said. I don't follow it too closely, but I think Ovechkin still has a few more years left in the tank.
Easily.
I think he might retire maybe this season at the end because he did previously say, once I break the record, I'm gone. I'm getting off the ice and I'm leaving. So he could retire soon, which would be unfortunate. I could see him having another season. We'll see how they do in the playoffs, but watching greatness before our eyes.
Ovechkin definitely has more fans than LeBron too. He's
100%.
one of the most loved sports athletes of all time.
Even from me, coming from that Crosby Ovechkin rivalry, I've always hated Ovi, but I've always respected Ovi. So that watching Ovi do that before our very eyes is our childhood, and it's very exciting to see. Champions League. Obviously, we know how big that is in the world of soccer or football. Connor,
here we go.
Any thoughts? I don't know if you have a bracket made. First, I want to get into Inter, who are up 2-1 in the aggregate against Bayern Munich, who they actually lost against last year or 2 years ago. So I'm excited to see that. I watched a bit of that game. That ending was crazy. Thuram scored a goal in the last couple minutes, so that was fun. I think they'll end up being Bayern. I think they'll lose in the semifinals to whoever they play, but seeing them beat Munich would obviously just mean more personally. But Connor, tell me what you think your bracket.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say the scores of the games that have already been played. So Arsenal beat Madrid 3-0 yesterday, I believe. Inter Milan beat 2-1 against Bayern Munich. PSG 3-1 against Aston Villa, and then Barcelona today 4-0 against
Pretty much all these matches
Dortmund.
are already set except for the Inter one.
Yes. So
keep going, though.
little
Yeah,
technical
keep going
difficulties, but I was so surprised with Madrid. I know they only lost the first leg yesterday, but Madrid has a god squad. If you look at past teams, like they have Mbappe, Bellingham, Carvajal, they have Vinny, who's a runner-up for MVP last year. People say he got robbed. I can't believe Madrid's having this disappointing of a season, but I guess that's what happens when you put a god squad together in the league. Just sometimes it's better to have connections rather than talent together. But Arsenal 3-0 against Madrid is just crazy. Inter Milan 2-1 against Bayern Munich, which I was also a little bit surprised of because Bayern Munich is a powerhouse in the German league. Yeah, exactly. They have Harry Kane, Musiala, like a bunch of other players on Bayern Munich that I don't. It's the first leg, correct? I believe it's the first leg.
All of them still have another one to play.
Exactly. So I personally, I think Bayern Munich's going to beat Inter Milan, but it's surprising that Inter Milan beat them today or yesterday.
Who do you see in the finals?
And then PSG is the team that beat Liverpool in the Champions League, which I was very disappointed about. I watched that live with my dad and a bunch of other Liverpool fans, but they played way better than us. They've got a lot of nice young players like Dembele, who has just been, he's like Vinny Jr. 2.0. He's been dribbling through all the defenders and everything. And I didn't believe that PSG was going to go this far, especially with the departure of Mbappe last year. But I'm proud that PSG is still putting up these good games and good scores against teams without Mbappe. And then Barcelona, last team to play in the fixtures, 4-0 against Dortmund. A goal from Lamine Yamal, he's also in the MVP, Ballon d'Or discussion right now. I believe Lamine Yamal has a really bright future, Messi-esque, personally. And then Lewandowski also got a goal today, and Rafinha is also another Ballon d'Or.
So who do you see in the finals?
I did have PSG just because of their God squad, not PSG. I had Madrid in the finals just because of their God squad, but I honestly think that PSG or Barcelona have a really good chance of going to the finals. I really like their squad this year, and they really proved it with the games they've been playing this year.
Like I said, if Inter beats Munich, I think they might lose in the semis, but I think Inter would have the potential to beat Barcelona in the semis and make the finals against whoever it is they play, whether it's Madrid or Aston Villa. I'd love to see Inter win it all. I think they could potentially be the finals. I think it will end up being Barcelona versus Real Madrid. Would be my personal bets on the finals.
Oh yeah, I also like Arsenal as well, but I'm never going to cheer for another Prem team as a Liverpool fan. But they do have a really good squad. I got to give it to them.
Yeah. Interesting. Champions League. Next game starts on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and then the night following week will be the semis. So that'll be fun to watch for the soccer fans here. Going into our second last topic, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just signed an extension with the Blue Jays. We know how bad they've been in recent times. Any thoughts on Guerrero's extension?
I'm so happy with that. He's the face of the Blue Jays right now. I saw his contract, 5-year for $500 million with a $325 million.
14-year.
It was 14-year?
14-year, yeah.
But I also saw that he got a $325 million signing bonus too. That's absolutely insane.
I think the signing bonus was just to cover the taxes and all that other stuff.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because he lives in Florida right now, so it's just to cover all those taxes. But yeah, 14-year, $500 million, which makes him the third highest player behind Juan Soto on the Mets, and then obviously Ohtani, both players who Blue Jays had strong links to. Ohtani on the LA Dodgers, but this is insane. I think that Vladimir Guerrero was kind of disappointed that we weren't giving him a contract extension, especially after we threw so much money at Ohtani and Juan Soto. So that's why people kind of saw in the media that he was disgruntled and everything. But I'm glad that they got it all figured out because Vladdy, he loves Toronto and he loves being a Blue Jay. And he obviously after this contract extension, he wants to stay there for the rest of his career. We all know that his dad played on Blue Jays, and he's a kind of a homegrown kid here.
He came up from the minimum from the Blue Jays development all the way up. So it's really cool to see that. You don't see that too much often.
I mean, I think he was a high pick in the draft, but
but he came up from like their very low development and made his way to the best player on the team.
I'm just happy to see he's back home. That's all I need to see.
We'll see if the Blue Jays.
It's nice to see players have their whole career in the on
Same
one
place,
team, like
yeah.
Kobe,
Loyalty.
Tim Duncan.
You
It's
don't
so
see
nice
that.
to see
you
that.
don't see that
No.
anymore. But
That's
yeah.
rare.
I'm so happy he's also loyal to Canada because not many superstars want to stay loyal to Canada.
Yeah, we'll
teams.
see how the Blue Jays, if they can turn around, see how that extension affects that. Last topic of the episode, the Masters. Remember, I know it could go on forever, but I'm going to cut you off at a certain time, so I'll let you kick it off. We know the leader. I said it while we were
Scotty
taking our break.
Scheffler.
With a
Scotty
minus 11 so far.
That's absolutely insane.
Tell me your thoughts on the Masters.
Honestly, all I have to say is my top. If you want to know my top picks right now, I gotta go with Rory at number 1, Scotty number 2, Colin Morikawa at 3. Number 4 is gotta be Justin Thomas. Number 5 is Ludwig Aberg, and number 6, our home Canadian, Corey Connors. I'm honestly so happy. I really want to see Rory McIlroy win it. He's won every single tournament in the PGA Tour. He's my personal favorite golfer of all time, besides Tiger Woods. I just want to see him win the Masters. I just want to see him bring home that one. I just want to see him wear that green jacket finally. I think he finally deserves it. I'm seeing a lot of the media where they just think it's his time, and I couldn't agree more. Scotty Scheffler, I wouldn't be disappointed. You know, he's already got two green jackets to his name. He's right now, like Sean said, number minus 11. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's got a weird swing, though. I mean, if you look at his swing, but that's what I love about the sport of golf. Everyone has their own swing, and it just makes him so unique. Colin Morikawa, the reason why he's on my list is because he starts off so strong. He's on a hot streak right now. The only issue is he's not very good at closing. I need to see that putter. I need to see him putting. The last few years in the Masters, he just can't close it out. His putter goes cold within like the second or third day, and it goes nowhere. And Justin Thomas on my list, he hasn't won a green. Neither has Colin Morikawa, hasn't won one either. But I want to see Justin Thomas there. I think he'll be there for the long haul. The hot streak once again too. And then Ludwig Aberg came second last year in the Masters, so I want to see what he can do this year. Maybe he can pull it out. And then Corey Connors, I got to see the Canadian. I want to see a Canadian win it. I'd be so happy to see a Canadian win it.
That'd be the dream for a Canadian to win.
Yeah.
It. Put even more Canada on the map. We know how good he is.
Of course, he's been top 10 in the Masters from 2021, 2022. Oh, wait, it was 2020, 2021, 2022.
I think he's struggling a little bit on day one, but it'd be fun to see a Canadian
100%.
win that. Connor, I don't know if you have any thoughts on Masters.
Obviously, Rory McIlroy is my favorites to win. He's just been so dominant these past few years. Not even a few years, probably like close to a decade now.
Oh, his whole career, pretty much.
His whole career. So that's who I've got winning the Masters.
Yeah.
You know, I work at a golf course. I don't know too much about golf, but I do know more Rory McIlroy.
You know
He's
the
my
big
favorite.
names.
I know the big names, and
Exactly.
I know who's been winning
all
in the
that
past.
matters.
So, everyone watching, I'll definitely get my facts better on Masters golf and
We're
the
gonna
NFL.
keep talking about it,
yeah.
so make sure you do your research.
So I'll definitely all the fans watching out there. I'll work on it, but I've definitely got you for the Raptors season and Raptors teams. Knowledge.
Much more to cover on as the summer goes on. Yeah, any last thoughts?
The one last thought I have to say is all golf fans out there. I know Tiger's not playing; he's currently injured, but his son's he's playing really well right now. Got his first hole-in-one a few tournaments ago. We all wish we could see Tiger at the Masters, but maybe next year.
Yeah, it'll be, like I said, it's exciting time for sports. Next couple months, we'll be covering it all in here on the Game Plan podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.